Hey guys! So today we're going to be discussing the word discutir, and it kind of does mean discuss, like it sounds like, but there are some different ways you can say to discuss if that is what you were trying to say. And if you have been following me for a while, then you know I have several of these false cognate videos, and I've realized lately that some they are false cognates, some of them are entirely false cognates, and some of them are like semi-false cognates. So that's why you'll see on the cover of this video a question mark instead of the X that I've been using. I'm not just changing things up a little bit, I am changing things up a little bit, like as you guys can see. I realized also that I had been wearing a lot of t-shirts recently, and so decided to change it up a little bit to look a little bit different today, give you guys a change of scenery. Anyway, I am all over the place today. If this is the first video you are watching with me, welcome. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe so that you can see my new videos every Monday and Thursday. I know I usually mention this at the end of my videos, but I've been getting questions lately about when do you release videos? When's your next video coming out? So I thought I'd mention this a little bit earlier in this video. It's for those of you who maybe aren't there at the end. So here it is, and now let's get into discutir and really more of different ways to say it and how to say exactly what you mean when you want to say discuss instead of discutir, which means a little bit more like argue than discuss, but can be sometimes used to say discuss if you're in a formal setting like in a courtroom or something like that, where it is an argument but it's a discussion. It just has a more formal air to it. But we've got 3 other ways to say discuss, so let's get to it. Alright, so let's start with discutir. So as I mentioned, this kind of means discuss, but it more so means an argument or like a debate. So we're gonna go over some examples of how you can use this. Bueno, pueden discutir eso con mi flota de abogados. So this is an example of how you would use this in a formal setting, like with a fleet of lawyers. So what this means is, well, you can discuss it with my fleet of lawyers. So I've got an entire team of lawyers for you to discuss it with. Very formal setting. Bueno, pueden discutir eso con mi flota de abogados. Si ese hubiera sido un buen momento para discutir esto. So this is to say that, like, oh yeah, that would have been a good moment to discuss this. So not quite as formal as the first example with the lawyers, but still using like the form discuss, and it's a larger issue that's being addressed. It's not like talking about something or just like, oh, let's discuss this over dinner or something like that. It's more formal, but not quite as formal as with a lawyer. Si ese hubiera sido un buen momento para discutir esto. Si ni tú puedes discutir con un poco de lógico. And this one is not quite a direct translation, but it is an example of arguing, and it means like, yeah, even you can't argue with that kind of logic. So it is more of an argument, and just like in English, we might sometimes use argument or discutir. So that's where it's kind of a false cognate, because argue is sometimes a synonym with discuss, but it has definitely different contexts. And if you say argue, it does not always mean the same as discuss, and vice versa. So we do need to be careful there with which one we use. Ni tú puedas discutir con un poco de lógico. Alright, so next we're going to look at 3 ways that you can say to discuss in the way that we would typically want to use the word discuss in most common day language in Spanish. Alright, so if we think of discuss as like to talk about something, then we can say in Spanish, hablar de, which means to talk about something. So hablar de is one way that we can say to discuss in Spanish. Después de encontrar su padre, podemos hablar de la asignación. So after you find your father, we can discuss the assignment. And this is an assignment like something like a job that's being given to you. It's not like an assignment like homework, like tarea or deberes. It's a little bit different type of assignment. asignación. Después de encontrar su padre, podemos hablar de la asignación. And además, creo que sabes esas cosas sin hablar de ellas. So what this means is, besides, además, I think you know those things without talking about them. Además, pienso que sabes esas cosas sin hablar de ellas. Where ellas is them and esas cosas is these things. Creo que sabes esas cosas sin hablar de ellas. And our third example, bueno, tenemos que hablar de todo ello de todos modos. Okay, so this is we need to talk about. So tenemos que hablar de, we need to talk about. And then this next part, todo ello de todos modos, is a little bit different, and it doesn't translate quite exactly, but it most closely in English resembles all of that anyway. Well, we need to talk about all of that anyway. Bueno, tenemos que hablar de todo ello de todos modos. Alright, so we're about halfway through now. We're getting to the last two ways that you can use to say discuss. And this one is very useful if you are taking some kind of a class where you have to summarize something and you want to say like, this is about, or this discusses. You want to use it in that kind of context, then you can say tratarse. And tratarse means just that. It means to be about, or it means that it discusses this topic. Podría tratarse de un síntoma de una afección médica grave. So this one does not translate literally at all. But basically, like, it's about a serious medical condition is how you could more closely translate it word for word. But to make more sense in English, you would say something like, it could be a sign of a serious medical condition instead of like, it's about a serious medical condition, or it discusses a serious, it doesn't quite translate that way, but this is another way that you can use tratarse. Podría tratarse de un síntoma de una afección médica grave. And another example, esto no se trata de tu lealtad a nuestra familia. So this is kind of another strange one, and I chose these because it's easy enough to just say like, this is about, or this discusses. But these more complex, like more colorful uses of the language help you to learn the language a little bit better, because you already know that you can use tratarse to say this is about or this discusses. But maybe you didn't know that you could use it to say this isn't a question of your loyalty to our family. So no se trata de, it's like this isn't a question of, or so you can say like this isn't about your loyalty to our family, but also like this isn't a question of this. You wouldn't translate it word for word, you would translate it more so this way, and this is how you would say this in Spanish. Esto no se trata de tu lealtad a nuestra familia. And third example, eso no se trata de aprender un par de trucos. So this one actually is about, like, this isn't about learning a couple of tricks. Eso no se trata de aprender un par de trucos. Alright, you guys made it to the last one, so hang in there, we're almost done. Comentar. Comentar is our fourth way to say discuss. So with 3 ways, we have discutir, and then those 3 other ways, a total of 4 if you include discutir. And comentar, it means kind of like it sounds like, it's cognate in English, comment. So comment or discuss, we can use comentar. Un saludo y gracias por comentar y exponer tu opinión. So this one, it kind of means like, hey, thank you for your comment and your exposition, so your writing, your commentary, again, like comment of your opinion. Un saludo y gracias por comentar y exponer tu opinión. Y sin embargo, ahora se comenta sobre esto todo el tiempo. So this has a lot of transitions in the beginning, but it's used really for like emphasis, and it means but yet now, or sin embargo, or like however, now, and yet now. It's talked about all the time. So we use the reflexive form of this verb here to say it's talked about. So to say when something is happening, So this is something to learn as you're writing and reading and listening in Spanish of when to use that reflexive verb, and sometimes it's more apparent than others. Like some verbs are only reflexive, but some verbs have different forms like comentar or comentarse. This one is comentarse because we're using it in this context of a passive use of the word, so it's talked about all the time, and this will translate that way. So this is really something that you'll just learn as you become more fluent in the language and you start to recognize these patterns, and not necessarily memorizing all of the verb conjugations, but just recognizing uses of the words. And that's really the best way that you're going to improve in your language, is just by learning these sentences and figuring out how the words work together. Anyway, if you want to see more of that stuff, I've got a ton of videos on learning strategies and all of that, but that's not what this video is about. So let's get back to comentar. Sin embargo, ahora se comenta sobre esto todo el tiempo. El beneficiario comentó también otros aspectos de la decisión. El beneficiario, this is the recipient, and we're really just using a kind of a direct translation of this word, comentar. This recipient commented on other aspects of the decision. El beneficiario comentó también otros aspectos de la decisión. Alright, I really hope that you've liked this video. It's a little longer than my other false cognate videos, but there was a little bit more to discuss in this video about the word discuss. So if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. You guys know the spiel by now. And yeah, I'll see you guys back here on Monday for a regular Spanish video, and on Thursday for a surprise video of language learning strategies or braces or topics in linguistics or anything else that I come up with. It's educational, of course. And yeah, I'll see you guys back here next time. Ciao!